Welcome to another episode of Whitetail Rendezvous, coming to you 6 days a week as we interview whitetail experts and hear their traditions and personal stories of the hunt. Learn more about the latest gear, discover proven tips, and the latest strategies so you can make your next hunt a success. Now here's your host, Bruce Hutchin.
Hey folks, Bruce Hutchin at ATA 2019, and folks, this is just an absolute pleasure. Yeah, I've interviewed some interesting people, but Tink Nathan has created an industry because he's going to share his story with us this morning on Facebook Live with Whitetail Rendezvous host Bruce Hutchin. And Tink, it's just amazing what you created.
Well, Bruce, I didn't start it to make money. My original goal was to get a deer to come close enough for my 5-year-old son to get a shot with his little tiny bow. I had a Howitt bow, a little Martin bow.
Yes, sir.
12 pounds, green fiberglass, and all the arrows that I broke off, I put little bare razor heads on. I ground them down so they'd be a little tiny broadhead. And he didn't know he couldn't get a deer, but and I got some urine from a doe that a game warden had raised. Her mother had been hit by a car, and he took this little fawn home and raised it. So I told him I wanted to get some urine. And he said, that's going to be pretty hard. So we got some polyesquine, visqueen, like you use in construction, and I got duct tape, and we put a diaper on her. And we just let her pee in the diaper, okay? And that was on a Saturday.
How long ago was this?
This was in the 70s, early 70s. And we got the urine from it, and we took it home and went to the drugstore. I got these little bottles with a little squeezy on top, little dropper, and we put it out. And he was in an apple tree, and the deer wouldn't come into the apple. And so we put the doe urine out. And he said, Daddy, come get me. I've shot all my arrows. I went over there, and all the arrows were stuck in the ground. And so at least he got some shots. And it was this little buck. So we ate lunch, took a nap, got back out there again, and he called over to me. I was on the other side of the house. He says, Daddy, I'm scared. And so why? He says, this buck is climbing the tree.
No.
And there was this little spike buck about that long, and I had put some on his boots, and he smelled that, and that buck was trying to climb.
He was motivated, wasn't he?
Yeah, he thought he was going to get some tail up in the tree,
Oh, my goodness.
And so that's what gave me the idea. But, as I said earlier, Bruce, did you ever think that the archery industry would blossom and be all these different things?
It's really incredible.
Right.
As I said, I started off with a Jennings bow.
Right.
So I can't... Was that the 60s or 70s, I guess?
Yeah, 71. I started out, I was a first Jennings dealer in Virginia. In fact, I went on a professional Bowhunter Society hunt with Marion James from Bowhunter Magazine, Laverne Wook, some of those old-timers. It was the first compound bow they'd ever seen. They'd seen them in the magazine,
sure,
but they never actually got to pull one. And what was not illustrated in the magazines is when you pull it back, it got easier, They didn't convey that, And holy smokes, look at this industry.
Yeah, it's just, if you look at the stats and everything, it's a $37 billion industry. Yeah. Archery's $8 to $10 billion of that.
Well, now a good crossbow will cost you twice as much as a rifle will.
Yeah, I shoot an Excalibur, so that's
Ravens,
$200 in a month.
Ravens too, $2,500.
Yep.
And people fork the money out. A lot of guys are too old to shoot a bow, but they can still shoot a crossbow.
Yep. My right shoulder's pinned. That's why I don't shoot a compound bow anymore, because I can't.
I shake and wobble and do all that kind of stuff. But I was blessed to get a stupid bear that came by, and he came by the bait, and I was waiting for him to turn the right size, and he turned and got just the right angle, and I shot him with one of these green knocks that I'd never shot a lighted knock before, and I didn't think much of them. And the knock's not lit until you shoot it. I had forgotten it. I saw this green trail go down. It came out the other side, and the arrow plopped down on the ground. So I knew I got him, And he went off. He didn't go too far, you know.
You mentioned something about the industry, and when you started Tinks so many years ago, what, 50 years ago?
49 years ago.
49 years ago, and it's part of the tradition.
You got your tanks, and you were set to go.
Yeah, but we made it complicated. I was having this conversation with a guy the other day, and he mentioned, it used to be you just grabbed your bow, threw on a pair of jeans and a flannel shirt, and went and sat in a tree, or maybe not even sat in a tree, just sat on a stump and went deer hunting. And it's the same thrill, but look what we've done technology-wise and everything.
Yeah, the compound bow came along the same time as a climbing tree stand. Remember that old Baker stand that would fall down and skin you up and everything like that?
Well, yeah, it'd skin everything.
Yeah, and that the bow hunters led the industry, and the gun hunters kind of followed them,
Right.
And now we got, multi-million-dollar tree stand industry and all this.
Well, just clothing alone.
Yeah.
And then...
In fact, young women are wearing camo that don't hunt. They just want to be fashionable.
Right, and it is a fashion statement.
Yeah, and now they got the pink camo and all that,
It's just really incredible, and then, what the brands are doing when we wash our hair in a specific brand. Arcus has Downwood brand. I use your doe spray because I can miss with it.
I've heard two stories this year, Bruce, you might want to put on your podcast. See those bottles over there, they're spray bottles, okay? I had yesterday, first day of the show, I had a woman and a man come to me. Now, this has got a little nozzle over there that you spray. Both of them were in a box blind, okay? They stuck it out the window, but they got it turned around, and they sprayed their face and their mouth. A man and a woman, two different people, did the same thing yesterday.
That's crazy. And so, folks, how I use this is simply that I'll set up and then I'll miss with it. So I'll hit it just for a couple seconds
and miss.
And I'll let it drift out.
Yeah, that works.
And it's just like a drag. It's worked for me just like a drag, that all of a sudden they'll hit that wind cone and their head will go up.
Yeah, we got a new one now that's a fogger, that silver one.
Silver one?
And this is like, you ever fog up your house with it for
Sorry
insects?
about that, folks. Moving the camera.
You ever fog up your house for insects? Well, this is a programmed one, and you can have it for short bursts or long lockdown for maximum, and you can go set it out 20 yards from me. And this is brand new on the market. In fact, this bottle is empty because it doesn't even have the real stuff in it. But it's programmed fogger that we have. So you don't have to worry about whether you fogged every 10 minutes. You can program it to fog every 5 minutes or every 10 minutes.
Now, who does all the, evolving of your product?
We have a pretty good crowd of people. Like this fella coming in, he's got a TV show. It's called Living the WildLife. They bring people to us with ideas, and they say, hey, have you thought about this? Or would you thought about that? And people they're in the technology business. We don't come up with a lot of our own ideas. People bring us ideas, and we pick and choose which ones make sense, which ones are going to sell.
I think the one thing about your product that stood the test of time, because I remember Tinks when I bought it at the corner dry goods store.
Yeah. Well, what we're finding, Bruce, is that we're dealing now with the grandsons of a lot of the dealers that I sold to the dealer originally, and his son took over. And now the grandkids are running the business.
Isn't that something?
Yeah.
Because you said generations. I mean,
3 generations.
You're one of the iconic people in the industry because you have a generational product.
Yeah.
And that's rare. I mean, we've all seen cars come and go, all sorts of different things come and go.
Yeah.
But here you are in an expanding industry with a product that's still with us, that's going to be with us for a long time.
Yeah. And it's spawned other products and accessories and everything like that. But it's a household word, like a John Deere or Harley Davidson.
Well, the Ford Chevy.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Well, Tink Nathan, thank you
Bruce,
so
thanks
much
for coming.
being a guest on Whitetail.
And good luck on your podcast.
One of the things I want to make sure that y'all take in while you're here these are not just people manning the booths that you're fixing to talk to. These are the development experts of the products that you're going to go around and see. I doubt there's a question you can ask them that they can't answer, and they are the best of the best. And it's really so much more impressive than the old days of one guy doing 100 jobs. These people are the best there are, and the groups we've got and assembled are that. And I'm really happy this year we assumed and got 2 new partners, and everybody knows the Scott family and Steve and Whitetail, and Steve and I have been friends a long, long time, and oh, what a great product to have, and the name brand in food plots. So, I mean, y'all are it, Steve. And then Texas Hunter, we've had a lease in Texas for the last almost 40 years. They are the dominant force out there. They have the best fish feeder in the world. They have other feeders that are great, the ground blinds they have and the shooting houses they have. Great partners to have, but what that does, make sure our mission is game management. We're not selling hooks and broadheads and bullets. We're game management. If it's game management related, if it grows them better, if it holds them better, if it attracts them better, that's where we are. So that's what you'll see assembled today. Please enjoy your time with these experts of it with us, and thank you again for your time coming today.
Thanks, Dan. Thanks. And yeah, I would underline that point that I know y'all are here today to look at product and learn about product, and it's less about the company, but I do think that the organization that is behind the products is important. And there are a few things about Pradco Outdoor Brands that make us different. We are not a trader of companies. We are not in and out quick. We are a collection of iconic brands in the hunting space that tend to be premium, but also do align with that theme that Dan was just mentioning, game management, wildlife management, and land management. You see that in deer feeding and Moultrie, trail cameras, certainly the wildlife feeders, the fish feeders, and the deer feeders with Texas Hunter, Whitetail Institute's food plot products, Code Blue's scent and attraction products, and on down the line. And so what I would like to do now is just mention a few specifics on each of the main new products that we have here today. We've got the room set up kind of at different stations. We've got Code Blue, Whitetail Institute, Moultrie, cameras and feeders, and Texas Hunter back here. Is there some Summit in the room? Here we are, Summit right here. Okay, I was looking for a tree and a tree stand. But what we'd like you to do is grab a plate of food and then just relax, enjoy yourself, and circulate around the room, meet these people, ask any questions that you want. We've got USB drives back here on the back table with assets that you can take with you. Martin, any other kind of housekeeping notes you want me to pass along?
I think that pretty much covered it. Just make sure on all the tables you have little cards. You can fill those out, turn those back into the basket over here, and we will be sending each and every one of you a free 2019 Moultrie game camera. And we'd love to get your input on all of those.
I did already have a question I couldn't answer. Writer discounts.
Absolutely. Do we have a specific program on that? But if anybody needs any product, y'all just let us know. I mean, that's not going to be a problem. Martin Hill back here, raise your hand, Martin. He's our director of marketing, and standing next to him is Mark Olis, who joined us this past year, very much from y'all's world as an outdoor editor for many years. And get to know these guys. They are your liaisons at the company. They will do whatever you need, whatever needs to happen to take care of you. Real quickly, into the products, I just want to hit some key high points. I think probably the most, aside from the 2 acquisitions we've had this year with Whitetail Institute and Texas Hunter, probably the most exciting step forward we're going to be taking in terms of product is with the Moultrie mobile line of cellular trail cameras. Moultrie, as many of you probably know, was among the very first brands to introduce a trail camera back around 2000. I think it was Moultrie and Cuddy Back, and those are the only 2 brands that are still around today. Hard to get accurate numbers on this, but by most accounts, and certainly the study that Southwick puts out, Moultrie continues to be the best-selling trail camera in the market. We were the first wireless trail camera back in, I believe it was 2009, with a 2G product, game management system. And then in 2016, we were the first cellular product to get on the 3G band with Moultrie Mobile when we introduced Moultrie Mobile several years ago. Last year we did not have any introductions with Moultrie Mobile because any new product with Moultrie Mobile because we were working furiously to transition from 3G to 4G, which is something that is mandated by the carriers and took a lot of work on the back end. But we're through that, and this year, 2019, there is a whole host of introductions related to Moultrie Mobile. Let me point out several to you. We started 2 years ago on Verizon. This year we're bringing AT&T online. So we'll be on Verizon 4G and on AT&T 4G. Wherever you are in the country, chances are very good that you're going to be able to connect to the Moultrie Mobile system now. Number two, we're bringing out all new hardware. The Moultrie Mobile system that you've seen that was introduced several years ago was really a modem. It was an outboard modem that used a cable to connect to a Moultrie trail camera. We have a new line of modems that are out this year that are 4G modems. We have one for AT&T, one for Verizon. But then we're also introducing our first integrated cellular trail camera. So this is a camera that has the modem built in, has the antenna built in. We have an AT&T version, we have a Verizon version. Very excited about that. So 4 new Moultrie Mobile items this year, 2 modems, 2 integrated cameras, one each for AT&T and Verizon. Also new this year is very exciting, but I know that everybody's watching the cellular trail camera business as it grows. It's really the most exciting innovation we've seen in trail cameras in years. But the innovation is not so much going to happen on the hardware front. The innovation is going to happen on the software front. Getting the picture up to the cloud is a trick. It's not easy. Making sure it connects all the time, it's easy to use. There are some challenges there. But where the real opportunity is, what do you do once you have that image in the cloud? We've solved the challenge of having to drive 2 hours to your property to go retrieve the SD card to get the images. Cellular retrieval has solved that. That's great. The next problem is, what do you do when you have 10,000 images? How do you find the 75 images that matter? And it's that software development and bringing out new features and software that is going to really usher in the next age of field intelligence and trail cameras. First step in that is Moultrie Mobile is introducing image recognition at the show this year. So we now have the ability to determine if there is a deer or a turkey in an image and automatically apply a tag to that image so that it can be filtered and sorted by deer or turkey. Well, this is very, very early days in this technology, and we will be continuously improving, continuously upgrading this as time goes on. We have only been in this business for a couple years. We have well over 100 million images uploaded on the system, and we're using machine intelligence to improve this. So right now it's deer and turkey. Soon it will be deer, doe, and buck. And within a few years, I assure you, it will be that specific buck. It is just a matter of time. Or, and I think before we know it, probably within the year, it'll be turkey, doe, buck, human, automatically tagging those images and allowing you to quickly get the information that is important out of your photo collection. So that's Moultrie Mobile. On the traditional trail camera front, we have released really a complete overhaul of the physical camera design of all of our traditional cameras. All of them have upgrades. I mean, it's a typical thing, better battery life, faster trigger speeds. Go check that out as well. Moultrie has got a new gravity feeder, first gravity feeder we've had in a number of years. That is all over here with Darren. You want to raise your hand, let everybody know where you are? On the Summit front, you'll see the big news is Summit ground blinds. It's our first entry into the ground blind market in quite a few years, and these are very, very exciting new designs. They are different. You got to come and check out these windows. Very, very thoughtful design elements have gone into these new blinds. We have a new featherweight hang-on stand, and then we have some new ground furniture, some new folding seat packs, and items like that. So you're seeing Summit take that iconic brand, that Summit tree stand brand, and extend it into some other product categories. Very exciting, much to come on that in the years ahead. Back here with Mr. Dale Baden and Texas Hunter, we welcome them to the fold this year for the first time. And for those of you who are not familiar with Texas Hunter, their real corner and angle or directional feeders, steel, all metal feeders. They are the #1 selling brand of fish feeder in the world. They make very high-end, high-capacity deer feeders as well, both protein feeders, broadcast feeders, and directional spin plate feeders. Please come by the booth and take a look at that. We also have, actually Texas Hunter, I should mention, has a great line of shooting houses. We don't have any on here at the show, but they are an excellent high-end shooting house offering that Dale can tell you more about if you come by and visit him. Code Blue, we have new additions to the Decode Scent Elimination line. We have a number of new synthetic tractant products for retailers and hunters that prefer a synthetic urine over a natural urine, and a number of other unique items as well that Steve can tell you about. And then lastly, with Whitetail Institute, we've got a very exciting new product this year called Conceal, which is a crop that you grow that you can use to funnel deer, and it'll grow up to about 8 feet tall, and you can use it to basically create structure your food plots and cover for yourself if you're walking to a stand, walking to a location, or cover for an animal. But with that, I will leave it there and encourage you all to enjoy yourselves. Please stop any of us if you have any questions. We appreciate your time. We thank you for being here. Thanks.
Your hair like that?
Well, yeah. I mean, why wouldn't you? Wouldn't believe.
We are now live.
You wouldn't believe how many guys want this for their beards. You know, the long beards, the conditioner after hunting season. So, yeah, get into the ladies' kit, but now it's offered.
So we're live now?
We're live now.
So is it true that WildLife Research Center is America's top brand?
Top brand.
Wildlife attractants?
There's no doubt about that.
And scent elimination?
Scent and scent elimination.
That is awesome, man. I'll tell you what actually works really good are those high output scrape drippers.
They do.
I run those every fall.
Christian, hold that up.
Yeah, this is our new one here.
I fill these things up and I put them out right at the end of October, and I get all kinds of good pictures on my cameras. And the thing that really is neat about them is even the does come to them. Yeah, does love stopping at them. And in Pennsylvania, you know what else I get a lot on these things? Bears.
Oh, yeah.
The bears love to come check out the scrapes.
Yeah.
So it's great for running your cameras on and just keeping the activity around your stands.
Yeah. Make sure they're high enough. I know in Wisconsin I have a lot of damage. Because if they can reach it in Wisconsin, the bears, they'll take them down and chew them up.
I showed you, I think, the pictures I had of the bear standing up just going like this. She didn't rip it down.
Yeah.
She was just probably squeezing it to make some stuff come out.
Yeah.
That's great.
I actually one step better. I put these out end of July, early August.
You were telling me
I'll
about
put in some of our synthetics. And what that does is draws in the does, and then you start inventorying the deer on your property. You know, the bucks, you can see them start to grow. You know what's going on out there. So they're a great tool to use all year round, actually.
Would you remind me this summer when I usually start running my cameras right after the 4th of July?
Yeah.
Because before that, the bucks haven't grown enough. But by the 4th of July, you know, they're big enough to see what they're going to be.
Yeah.
I forget about that. And so I'm not putting that stuff out at that time of the year because I'm not really typically thinking about that. Remind me this year to do that. Let's have me put out that and see what...
The neat thing about it, the earlier you put that out, that's where they'll start to create that licking branch. So you can create a licking branch and a scrape wherever you want it. If you want it at the edge of your field or... You know, that's what's neat about the early stuff. They'll just start picking at it, and then eventually, if you don't create the branch, it'll appear naturally. So it's a great product. Great. I use a Magnum dripper early season because it lasts longer. With the curly Q, that'll last 2 to 3 weeks. This one here lasts 7 to 10 days, but I'll use the other one on that.
Christian, you introduce Paul. Say who you are for our Facebook Live audience.
No, I'm Christian Berg from Peterson's Bow Hunting, and this is Paul Marion.
I'm the marketing director with WildLife Research.
And folks, they're live here at 2019 ATA, and they've been giving a product demo or just talking about the product and how they use it in the wilds. And how effective, Kristen, I know you use it. So talk about the effectiveness of it.
Well, I've used the WildLife Research Center, a lot of their scrape products, as well as their
Scent elimination
scents.
too.
Yeah, as well as the
Scent Killer Gold.
Scent Killer Gold with the Hunt Dry technology.
Yep.
That's really good because it's designed to be sprayed onto all your gear. You let it dry, and it keeps all the odors out of there.
From passing through your clothing.
For many hunts. Like you don't have to reapply it all the time.
No.
It works for what, up to a couple of weeks?
20 days on the Gold.
Yeah.
Up to 20 days, yep.
Yeah, that's been great. And I'm a scent control guy, and I use, a whole system. So from, like you say, whether it's keeping yourself clean, spraying your gear down, I'll use ozone products too.
Mm-hmm.
I believe the more that I can do, get my scent down, the better. And so your products do a great job for getting all the scent out when I'm in the field, and then any residual scents or just even your breath or the wind blowing across your body or something like that, I try to fight against that too. But absolutely, for me, I'm a big trail camera guy. I don't know if you are, Bruce.
Yes, I am.
So to just use a trail camera on a trail, it's actually a bad name. We should not call them trail cameras anymore, because how often do you actually just put it on a trail? I like to run my game cameras or wildlife cameras with some kind of an attractant, either a mineral or product like your scrape dripper or even the scent wicks. The thing about the scents is, you know how effective they are, and wick is, I find if I put one of these wicks out, I will have a good buck on that the very first day. Mm-hmm. It's amazing how fast they find it. Like when you put it out on a camera, it's not going to take 2, 3, 4, 5 days till you get pictures.
Right.
You're getting pictures within like hours of setting that camera up and leaving.
Yeah, when you hang that wick in the air, that's when the wind catches that and brings it out.
But it's a scent cone.
And that's new for them. The deer smell that, and they're like, that wasn't here, the last time I passed through this area, and they're very curious about investigating.
Yeah, dripping it into the ground is one thing, but putting up a wick too is really, really helpful.
Yeah.
And a lot of that with the new scent reflex that we have in there, that stuff will stay on those wicks. It's kind of like a tactifier, so it enhances the smell, but it makes it sticky. It'll stay on these wicks for weeks. I'll have deer cameras that I put out for months, and they'll still be hitting the same wick, and I won't even refresh it. They'll still be checking it out. So, good product too.
Good stuff, man.
Hey, thank you very much.
I'm going to keep moving.
You got it.
Lots of manufacturers in here, but you enjoy the rest of your show and have a great year.
Can I get your card so I can send you the link?
You can get my card. Please. You indeed can. There you are, my friend.
You.
Thanks, Bruce.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks, Bruce.
So let's finish up. Let's talk about Scent Killer. And again, Paul Marion from WildLife Research Center. You guys are still up in Minneapolis, is that correct?
We are, yep.
And Robinson?
Ramsey.
Robinson?
Ramsey, Minnesota.
Ramsey, Minnesota?
Ramsey, yep.
Yeah. Was it Robinson Scientific or something?
No.
Is that a different company?
Completely different company.
Okay.
Those guys are gone.
Those guys are gone.
Yeah. So this is our new air spray, our air and room spray. So if you want to spray down your room, car, your blinds, your closets, your totes, anything where there's a smell that has a possibility to spray this out, and it'll work. It's worked great. If you're a pet owner, if you have kids and diapers and stuff like that, this is what you want. Spray it around your room, high output sprayer. It'll fog it. Your truck's perfect. Yep. And it won't leave that film residue in there. Spray your truck, your seats, your carpeting, all that stuff.
Now, how about the other aerosols you have? You got 3 of them there.
Yeah, the aerosols I have we have new aerosols that came out late last year. This is a 3-ounce aerosol. It's a bag and valve system, so the bag is encapsulated around the pressure, so it doesn't come in contact. It's pure urine that comes out. We have a doe urine, or a premium doe is our premium doe urine. It's a good cover scent early season. We also have our golden estrus, which is a good attractor scent, and then we have a synthetic for some of the states that don't allow urine.
What's the story with synthetic? What's your luck or not luck with?
My luck's been really good. We've been making synthetics for 20 years, so it's more consistent than a urine. Urine can change day to day, week to week, depending on diets, all that stuff. Breaks down a lot faster. This stuff won't break down like a regular urine will. Put it out there. We can simulate the same smells. We do a lot of testing, a lot of wild deer testing on this stuff. We've done it for years, so great product.
Paul Marion, thank you so much for being a guest on Whitetail Rondo here at ATA 2019.
Good to see you.
Thanks for joining us. Be sure to tune in tomorrow for another episode of Whitetail Rendezvous, where you can listen and learn from the experts so you can be more successful on your next hunt. Until next time, listen, learn, and succeed.